Welcome back. Build the Enterprise, Next Generation D. Working on a book 12, issue book 12, and build pack is 44. I was wrong. I thought we were done with the battle section there, but actually we got a couple more pieces. Snap on that. We got another panel piece here for the saucer section. And things are coming together up top. Let's do this. Oh yeah. First up, grab this panel here. This one is die cast U1-02. We're going to put some dark and clear windows in and a couple of escape pod or escape pod hatches, whatever you want to call it. I think they're escape pods. Reusing this plastic tray. You can get one of those magnetic ones if you want. Got DM screws on the ready. Rolled out my clear windows, rolled out the dark windows, and the escape pods right there. So I think we're using all 5 of the clears that came with it, and I believe 9 dark. And I'm just going to lay them in here by hand and kind of push them in if they don't seem like they're sitting in there. Sometimes you can push them in a little bit. And I just orient them the way the instructions have it laid out in the picture. So you're going to see my big sausage fingers in the way. Come on. There we go. Alright, and red line is going to go towards this wider portion per the instructions on these hatches. Alright, this panel on this side, we're going to slot the green and yellow wire in. You can see there's a little notch in there. Just make sure the bulb is in there. That little nub that's hard to see, but it goes in between the 2 cable pieces. Normally if you press it in there, it'll kind of help hold the bulb in place. You kind of squeeze that together, but some of these bulbs don't really want to stay in the panel. So I'm going to keep my finger kind of under it until I can get this in position. Kind of hold it in place, hopefully. Oop, there we go. Almost was out of position. This is where you want to be careful because your windows can pop out on you. So that's still in there. DM screws while I'm holding finger pressure down on that. I'm gonna go ahead and get a couple in here. And they're on my screwdriver bit. There we go. And I just lost one on the floor. Whew, almost popped out my windows. Just making that. Oh, I popped out some windows right there. I can put them back in. It's the vibration of nudging this thing, these screws down onto this mat, pop my windows out. Windows back in place. I am not going to risk it. I'm going to put my 3rd screw in over here. I'm just going to snug these up just to make sure. I'll double check them at the end. Okay. Bend that up a little bit out of the way. Now we need this reflector panel, and it's going to, same principle, notch in this LED bulb there, or slot it in so they say. Whoa, this whole panel is trying to move on me. Get this into position, kind of up under these yellow and green wires. Dang. These bulbs, I wish these bulbs like actually slotted in and stayed in place, but they don't always stay in place. Makes it difficult to do this. There we go. That's a little more of a pain. I made it more difficult than it needed to be, probably. I'm going to hold my finger pressure down. I'm going to get some of these screws into position. DM screws, they have the big built-in fat head on them, kind of like a built-in washer, so to speak. Alright, let's get these screwed down. That one's snug. I want to make sure those bulbs are in, and they are. All those are in. Good. Alright, battery pack hooked up, and lights do work. That test is good. Kind of shade it. There we go. Alright. Alright, now we're going to slot this panel in right here. I'm going to get up close. Just wanted to show you where we're at on the saucer section. Alright, so we're going to feed our pigtail right through this notch right there in the skeletal structure, but there is just make sure you don't have any wires sticking out. This red wire right here on this panel was kind of sticking out on mine, but I tucked it up under the panel that it was coming out of, and I think that'll be okay and out of the way. This pigtail right here is going to feed in through this notch on the skeletal structure like that. And these tabs have to go under the slots on these two panels, while the lip on these two panels goes under the lip on this panel. So we already know this is not going to work out the way they claim it will. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So you can see this right there. So you got the lips. Can't get them in. No matter what you do to push down on this, it's not going to slot in. I don't want to take these panels off. I'm going to give full credit to, if this works, MyEnterprise-D.com. And this person, I think he has a YouTuber. So I'll try to find the links and I'll put a link to him down here. But his solution was to loosen up these screws on these panels, which I believe I did something similar. It's been so long since I did these other parts with the whole Eaglemoss situation. Let's just do it. Alright, I got this side started. I'm just going to try to manhandle this into position. Come on, dang it. All but that last one. Okay, we're getting close. That's going to be the trick. Maybe loosen that one up almost all the way, or get it, if I can get underneath, get it pushed up enough. Can't feel what's under there. Come on. Oh, so close. But so far away with this nonsense. There it is. Okay. Alright. So, I mean, with the extra paint, I think, on those tabs, I mean, maybe if I just scrape that extra paint off. There's paint on it, but I had to force that in. Now I just hope that everything else is going to line up okay as I screw this in. Yeah, it seems like it will. I'm going to flip this over and hopefully nothing else has come apart. I can get everything tightened back up. Okay. A couple of BM screws. And the BM screws actually go at the back. So one here and one here for the panel. I'm going to go and get those started and go through and tighten all the rest of my BM screws for the other panels. Go ahead and make sure all those are retightened back down. I want to make sure this panel stays in place. One in, second one. Going in. Alright, let me tighten the rest of these up. I don't even know where I started, but I'm just gonna work my way in until I get to the tight ones. Retighten all these. Alright, that panel is in, nice and smooth and flush with everything. That is the trick. Make sure your cables are out of the way on this side, but the BM screws underneath this panel section and this panel section, that whole top row, loosen them up almost all the way out. And then I went ahead and had to loosen, I don't know if I need to, but I was having trouble still, so I loosened up the BM screws on that next row, trying to be careful not to loosen them up so much that these windows fall out. Alright, so be careful with that. And then I had to flip it back over, sandwich this in, as you can see, hopefully with the footage. And it was still a dogfight. I eventually got this corner in, kind of manipulated. I really had to manhandle this, really, and get it just forced in there. I think there's some extra paint. Maybe if the paint was removed from those tabs, it might help it slide in underneath, but just got to force it in, and then screw everything back down. 2 screws here, tighten all these BM screws up. Last part of this build pack 44 is actually back over here. I thought I was done with this, but I'm not. So we should be done after that. These 2 panel pieces here. Luckily they're just tabs, tabbed in. Look at that one, says Enterprise. That one goes on this side. Just line your tabs up and make sure they're in the holes so you don't artificially like mash them. This thing should just snap into place here. Tab over here, there it is. Make sure it is snugged on there. Alright, that side's done. Rinse and repeat on this side. Just make sure those little plastic tabs are actually starting in the holes before you go mashing this thing together. I don't think I was on camera there, but it's too late. Once you know they're started, just gotta work your pressure around, get them pushed into place. Ah, yes. There we go. Now I think we're done with the battle bridge section. This Cobra neck section, hopefully. Okay. Wow. Kit 44. A little bit of a pain. I thought it was going to be super easy, but that is the trick. Loosen those up and then manhandle that panel into place. Make sure no cables are getting pinched, but that is the trick. Let's see. shout out to Marvel PHX. I am subscribed to his channel now, but he's doing a lot of these build kits, and he has done websites. So if I'm running, I like just figuring things out on my own, but sometimes when you know there's a problem, I'm gonna start checking his page, and I'll try to relay that info to you as well. But go check him out, give him a sub too. Alright, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, like, commenting, all that stuff. Much appreciated. Until the next one. Boom.